Heyo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Ever Crisis video. Hope you are having a fantastic day or night, as always, and let's jump into it. Today's video is going to be the versatile wishlist. So the idea of this video is wishlisting. Now, most people in the game, of course, already know what they want to wishlist, and that's great. You do you, and best of luck on your pulls. For those who don't, for those who are missing one or two weapons they want to wishlist, or they've got 3 they want to and 2 they don't know, or they don't know any weapons to wishlist, whatever the case may be, this video is for you. The idea of this video is to create a versatile wishlist, so as generic weapons as possible that are still good and still versatile in either their R abilities, making them good primary or sub weapons, or in their command abilities, making them good primary weapons. Some of them are going to be good sub weapons, some of them are going to be good primary weapons, and to be generic, I have no weapons that are tied to any elements in this list, and of course they will be tied to physical attack and magic attack, but that's the best I could do. And there are no weapons with defensive R abilities like resistances, but there are HP and heal. Of course, it is not an exhaustive list of every weapon in the game, and it is an opinionated list, most importantly. So it is my opinion. I've grabbed a bunch of weapons that I thought would be pretty good to wishlist and put them on this list. I'm open to debate, of course, and yeah. These are not the only weapons, the be-all and end-all. This isn't you have to get these weapons, don't go for anything else, only wishlist these weapons. No. This is if you don't have any idea, and if you're not going for specifically an element or something, then you can go for some of these weapons, and they should be good and useful in a lot of different situations. Of course, you need to use your own judgment to decide if these weapons will be good for you and your builds. The first up is Twin Viper. This has boost attack and boost limit break potency. Limit break potency is always fantastic. Boost attack, on the other hand, is kind of not that great, but it gives versatility in the fact that it can be used on a magical DPS or a physical DPS, because boost attack is half of each. The next thing is the command ability. It's also quite interesting. It is the Venom Strike, so it is currently the only weapon in the game that can apply poison to enemies. And although a lot of enemies are resistant to poison, a lot of them are not, so it could have a lot of interesting uses. At number 14, I've gone for Hardcore Squad. Now this weapon is more for the command ability than anything else. The boost heal and boost crit are useful. The idea is for it to be a support weapon for a support build, so that's fine. The command ability though, it gives a physical defense and magic defense increase of mid potency to all allies, 14 seconds. That makes it a really good bracing weapon if you're using Glenn, of course, as a support. Then you can brace for a powerful enemy attack by casting Good Vibes just before the attack goes off, and your whole party will be defensive. Number 13 is Sun Umbrella, old but gold. This is one of the best sub-weapons you can have for any magic DPS, regardless of what you're building. If you're building a magic DPS, you probably want Sun Umbrella as a sub-weapon, because it gives you boost magic attack and magic ability potency, one of the best combinations for magic DPS. As a primary weapon, it is still quite useful in that it does physical defense and magic defense decrease to your enemies of mid potency. But primarily, Sun Umbrella is fantastic to wishlist for a sub-weapon for any magic DPS. Next up, 4-point Shuriken. This is once again a very nice generic weapon because it gives boost HP and buff debuff extension. And there's not a whole lot of those in the game, but they are very good. It makes your buffs last longer, which is always fantastic. And in this case, it makes your debuffs last longer. And this weapon has an AoE physical attack that reduces the physical attack of all enemies by mid potency, which is great for multi-target fights. For instance, those soldiers that you sometimes face in Crisis dungeons. or even the birds, and I assume in the future there will be more multiple enemy fights. At number 11 is Killer Hornet, and this is pretty much the sun umbrella of physical attack. It is an awesome weapon to have as a sub-weapon for any physical DPS, because it gives you the boost physical attack and it gives you boost physical ability potency. So a really nice combination of R abilities for physical DPS, and I use this in pretty much almost all of my physical DPS builds, especially those non-elemental builds like Cloud's Zidane Sword and Tifa's Guard Gloves that already focus on boost physical ability potency. This weapon is perfect for that and great all around for a sub-weapon for any physical attacker. Enemy Launcher is next, and it has a command ability that does AoE damage, but the main reason why it's on this list is for its R abilities. It has boost attack, 27 points, once again making it pretty versatile, but it is still more catering towards physical attack obviously because of the R2, which is boost physical ability potency of 48 points. I call that a dedicated R weapon because the boost physical ability potency, 48 points, is the highest you can get in the game, and this weapon is one of the few that gives you that. So yeah. At number 9 is the Guard Stick. This is currently the only weapon in the game that you can wishlist. It has a dedicated R ability for heal, so 54 points of boost heal. The only other weapon in the game that gives that right now is Matt's latest Centipede, which you obviously can't wishlist yet. So this is on the list, and it also has boost limit break potency, which is a really nice thing to go along with it. And even if you use it as a primary weapon, you have a nice magic defense buff of high potency to an ally. But for any healer that you're building, put Guard Stick as a sub-weapon and you will have a lot more points of boost heal. Number 8 is the Butterfly Edge, another dedicated R weapon, this time for HP. It gives you 54 points of HP, which is once again the most HP points you can get in the whole game. And the only other weapon that does this is Tifa's Crystal Gloves, and that one's R2 is lightning potency, so that locks you into lightning. Whereas this weapon gives you the boost HP 54 points and limit break potency 24 points, so it is super generic, can be used in any build to get extra chunkiness and some limit break damage. On top of that, as a primary weapon, it has a physical defense buffing ability. Number 7, Sephiroth's Mithril Katana. There might be a little bit of bias in this one because it is my preferred secondary weapon for my magic DPS builds. Yes, the command ability is not great for that, but it is still great for buffing himself for a long time. 44 seconds of high potency physical defense is nice, but the R abilities are really nice as well. Boost HP for survivability and boost magic ability potency is always fantastic for magic DPS because you will usually get your boost magic attack maxed out pretty quickly. So boost magic ability potency is one of the best things you can have next to that. Excuse me. At number 6, Glenn's Ultimatic. This thing has a powerful command ability, so it's great to use as a primary weapon for Glenn, but it's also fantastic to use as a sub-weapon for most characters, because it has a dedicated R ability for boost attack, so that's 54 points. Once again, the most boost attack points in the game on this weapon, so you can use this to make any hybrid character much stronger, or to just add a bit more physical to your physical, magical to your magical. It also has boost physical ability potency, so obviously it leans a little bit more towards physical DPS. Overall, a great weapon. Number 5 is a Wind Slash. Now of course this leans towards physical because it has boost P attack R1. The R2 is buff debuff extension, which is always very nice if you have a buffing or debuffing team, and in this case this weapon just does just that, so yeah, it's great. The weapon lowers thunder resistance by a high potency, which is very nice, and the reason why I put this instead of Red's Seaside Collar, for example, which also lowers thunder resistance by high potency, is because that has lightning potency as an R2. So it's locked into lightning, whereas this is a generic weapon that can lower thunder resistance. Number 4, Lucia's Mad Minute. Gives you boost HP and physical ability potency 48 points. So once again, a dedicated R for physical ability potency. So it's very similar to the enemy launcher, except that it gives boost HP instead of boost attack. And the boost physical ability potency at 48 points is great to have on any physical DPS as a sub-weapon. But if you decide to equip it as a primary weapon, it also has a nice debuff to lower enemies' magic attack by high potency. At number 3, I'm always harping on about it, it's Glare Reed, one of my favorite weapons. It has a nice AoE physical attack, but its R abilities is what really makes it shine. It has a dedicated R ability for boost limit break potency. So that is 48 points is the most boost limit break potency you can get in the game right now. So that's going to make it work really well as a primary weapon or a sub weapon, and it still has 40 points of boost physical attack. So do me a favor and pick any weapon you like and add its points of its 2 R abilities together and see what the total is and compare that to Glare Reed's 88 points. At number 2, Twinkling Star. This weapon is definitely used for more of a physical team, so get it if you're planning on making a physical team around it or using it to assist a physical team. But it is still very strong. Boost HP to give more survivability, and boost physical ability potency once again to give you a little bit more oomph in your physical moves. Then the command ability is what really makes it shine. It lowers the enemy's magic attack by mid potency, max of high, and it lowers their physical defense by mid potency and max of high. So you can lower their attack and their defense at the same time. And at number 1, I've gone with Arctic Star. I'm still enamored with this weapon because I think it is just so good. And yeah, it gives you a boost physical attack R ability and buff debuff extension. Once again, is great, especially for this weapon, because this weapon allows you to give the highest level of physical attack buff to an ally and the mid level to Yuffie. But if you have 3 physical attackers and you cast it on both of your party members, then your entire party will have the highest level of physical attack buff in 2 casts. So yeah, an absolutely fantastic weapon. Finally, I have some honorable mentions. Not everything is on this list. There are still some good weapons that aren't on the list, of course, but these are some honorable mentions for pretty generic but good weapons to have. Tiger Fangs, for example, gives boost magic attack and boost crit potency. So that is a really great, versatile generic weapon as a sub-weapon for any magic DPS, because you get the boost magic attack and you get boost crit, which is nice. You know, it doesn't give you anything that's gonna ruin magic DPS's life. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and check you in the next one. Bye.